The CEO never expected that simply sponsoring a poor girl would bring total disaster to himself and his company. Not only did he have to pay over 100 million in penalties, he even faced possible jail time. It all started 4 years ago when the CEO funded a group of underprivileged students from rural areas. The girl was one of them, but the girl, imagining things, mistakenly believed the CEO had feelings for her, so she decided on her own that she would marry him after graduation. The CEO didn't take her words seriously at all, but the clueless girl went around college bragging that she had a CEO big brother who adored her. After graduation, she even promised her classmates that she could get them internships at the CEO's big company. To prove it, she deliberately called the CEO in front of her classmates and demanded a job for herself. Even though her request was totally unreasonable, the CEO knew how hard it was for fresh grads to find jobs, so he asked his assistant to give them intern positions. After making those arrangements, he left for the airport to pick up his fiancée, who had just returned from abroad. Little did he know, this decision would lead to a disaster he and his company couldn't control. As soon as the CEO left, the girl brought 2 of her classmates to the CEO's company. The assistant saw them arrive and asked who they were. The girl outright claimed she was the CEO's fiancée. The assistant had never seen the CEO's fiancée before, but judging by the girl's age, he didn't believe her. Then the girl pulled out a photo of her hugging the CEO from 4 years ago. Only then did the assistant believe her, so he gave them a tour of the company. At that moment, an engineer was operating a crucial part of the system, but the clueless girl thought he was just playing a game. She immediately pulled the power plug, and she even demanded that the chief engineer be fired. What the girl didn't know was this engineer was a top talent the CEO had hired for $5 million. The assistant rushed forward to stop her, but the girl insisted the engineer wasn't worth that much. She even shamelessly claimed she was helping the company get rid of parasites. Right then, the company's network was hit by a major cyber attack. There was even a risk of a data breach. Just as the engineer was about to check on it, the girl stopped him. She said he'd already been fired and should get lost immediately. She even claimed she could handle the hacking problem herself. Seeing the girl's arrogant behavior, the other engineers all chose to resign and leave. Instead of worrying, the girl was actually happy and said she could now place all her classmates into the CEO's company. She even told the assistant to handle the hacking problem. Just then, the real fiancé arrived downstairs. Seeing the engineers leaving, she asked in confusion what was going on. The engineer said it was the CEO's fiancé who had fired them. The woman walked into the lobby and saw that the walls were covered in the girl's photos. She thought the CEO had fallen for someone else, but she didn't let her emotions get the best of her. She still handed over the chip she had brought back from overseas to the front desk. When the girl heard a pretty woman was looking for the CEO at the front desk, she assumed someone was trying to steal her man, so she rushed downstairs and slapped the woman without warning. She even accused the woman of trying to climb the social ladder using her husband. She called it nothing but a delusional fantasy. She said she would never allow such a thing to happen. The woman originally didn't want to argue with the girl, but the girl wouldn't let it go. She even used the $10 billion chip to threaten the CEO's fiancé, forcing her to kneel. To avoid damaging the chip, the woman had no choice but to kneel, but the girl still didn't stop there. She not only threw the chip on the ground, she stomped on it piece by piece, destroying everything the woman had worked for. When the CEO couldn't reach his fiancée, he rushed back to the company, only to find the lobby filled with pictures of a girl he didn't even recognize. He was about to ask someone what was going on, but the new security guard didn't recognize the CEO. He stopped both of them right at the entrance. He said they were late and couldn't enter without paying a fine. The CEO tried to call his assistant, but the security guard smashed his phone. Right then, the company's alarm went off. The CEO was anxious to get inside to handle it, but the guard kept blocking him outside. The CEO's fiancé tried to call him to ask for help and have someone deal with the situation, but the girl didn't believe her, thinking she was trying to get help from the CEO. She refused to let her make the call. Then she sent one of her classmates to handle the alarm, but the classmate didn't know anything about high-tech systems, so he decided to smash the company's main server. At this point, the CEO realized something was seriously wrong. He rushed to the server room, only to find the main server already destroyed. The CEO angrily angrily asked which department he belonged to. Then the security guard showed up again, claiming the CEO was an imposter and bragging that he had just taught him a lesson. Hearing that, the girl's classmate got even more arrogant, saying he'd search online and expose the CEO's lie. But as soon as the search results came out, he was completely stunned, because standing in front of him was the real CEO. Seeing his company in total chaos, the CEO furiously asked the girl why she had done all this. The girl said she did it all for his own good. She claimed she had helped him manage the company, driven out the old employees, and cut costs. The CEO was too furious to even speak, but the girl still didn't stop. She said a woman came with a chip and demanded 10 billion, so she assumed the woman was a scammer and taught her a lesson and destroyed all the chips to protect him. The CEO grabbed the girl and angrily asked where the woman was, but the girl's classmate said the CEO shouldn't criticize his fiancée for an outsider. Just as the CEO was about to reveal the woman's true identity, he got a call from his fiancée's father. The father demanded to know what the CEO was doing, saying there were complaints about the company everywhere. He also said he couldn't reach his daughter. He asked what exactly had happened. Just as the CEO tried to explain, the father said he'd better be ready. He was coming over immediately. The CEO had no choice but to deal with his future father-in-law first. But the girl, seeing the CEO angry, still didn't realize she'd done anything wrong. She thought that if she could handle some president, she could change the CEO's attitude toward her. So she made her own decision. When the CEO's fiancé's father arrived, she dressed herself up like a gift and tried to present herself to him. This infuriated the CEO's future father-in-law so much that he told the CEO to prepare to receive a court summons.